Now, doing a range test is usually something I don't like doing, because last time I did one, I lost my Mavic Air. But I received so many comments and DMs on the new RC controller and that many people are experiencing signal issues just after a few hundred meters. A weak signal though, and a lot of interferences will be different from location to location, so many signal and range tests will be different to the different user. But I will do my best to answer all your questions in this video, where I will be doing a few different tests at a few different locations, including Wi-Fi areas, around mountains, and at the beach. So the first test is at the beach. Here we have a little to none interferences. And for some good looks, we can throw in some color grading on the D-Cine-like footage coming from the Mini 3. Now the first 100 meters goes smoothly as expected, and I don't have any issues with the signal or any lag coming from the RC controller either. But after just 320 meters, I lost one signal bar. This could be one of the beachgoers talking on the phone, browsing, or doing activities which sends out signals, or from any of the nearby houses. Now as we get past this area, we can see our signal bar is getting back and we now have a full signal strength. Now the next few hundred meters goes smoothly without any issues experienced, and it's first when I reach the 1K mark I get another drop in the signal. And approaching the 1.3K mark, we see a few houses here on the left, and if I swing just a little closer to these houses, we can see the bars dropped by 2, so we now only have 3 bars left. So we're now getting to the point here where I think it's best to turn around. We reached about 1,418 meters before we started to see significant signal drops on the RC controller. So now I think it's time to do another test here. We're at Lanikai. We have the Lanikai pillbox right up there. So we're going to take the Mini 3 towards the pillbox. And it's a crowded place. There's a lot of Wi-Fi signals here, so we might experience a lot of interferences. So we're going to go about 50 to 60 meters high, which is about 160, 170 feet, and also have a straight line of sight up to the Lanikai pillbox so I can see the drone the entire time. So without further ado, let's move over to the controller and see if we drop any signal bars when we fly in a Wi-Fi area compared to when we flew at the beach. So looking at the RC controller here, we can see the first 320 meters, they go smoothless without any interferences, without any issues related to lag or any signal drop of the RC controller. Now once we start to move around a bit, we can see that we have a drop in signal. So we lose 1 bar on the RC controller, but everything is still looking smooth and there's no lag on the controller. Now at a point here, we also lose an additional bar on this signal. And this is where we start to experience a little bit more lag to the controller. Now, just about 270 meters out in a different direction, we completely lose the signal to 1 bar. And this is where I start to experience the lag of the controller, and it starts to freeze, and I'm really in a rush to get it back. Now, I know for a fact that if I completely lose the signal, the drone will come back. But I don't want to risk anything when I'm flying in these type of environments, and we can also see here that the controller is getting very grainy. So the RC is now on and off on 1 to 2 bars, and the signal is really bad. Now, even though we're not more than 200 to 300 meters out, this is because the Wi-Fi interferences, which is around this area here. There's a lot of houses, and most of the houses has Wi-Fi. So if you're going to film in locations like this, it's important that you have your drone at a higher altitude. The higher your drone is, the better the signal you will have. It's also better if you can elevate yourself and get to higher ground. So for me, in this case, it would definitely be better if I stood on the Lanikai pillbox, because I would be elevated and I had more control, more visual sights of the drone, and the RC would go straight to the drone without having any interferences between the drone and the controller. There would of course be some interferences because it's a highly Wi-Fi area and you have all these routers sending out the Wi-Fi signal, so you will experience some interferences anyway. But overall, flying in an area like this, I went about 300 meters one way and then 300 meters the other way. There was not that many issues. So as long as you're not going to fly for a longer distance than a few hundred meters, I think this test is a success. Keep in mind there's tons of Wi-Fi signals which will interfere with your controller. So I'm a little bit surprised that I managed to fly even 300 meters when I even had some interferences in front of me, like trees, and our own Wi-Fi router was standing between me and the drone. So 300 meters, I think that is a success. Now let's move over to the last test here, and this is at Chinamans Hat, and I don't think we will experience any interferences or any signal drops on the RC controller. So we're out here at Chinamans Hat because we have a straight line towards the island, which looks like a Chinamans Hat over there, and I think that will be a perfect test. So it's a straight line, there shouldn't be that many interferences at all, and I think we have about 25 miles per hour wind, maybe close to 30 or 40 when we get out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Mini 3 and the Mini 2 behaves out there as well. So without further ado, let's get over to the Mini 3 and start the range test out to the island there. So we're now at 400 meters. The signal hasn't dropped a single bar, and there's no lag or anything on the controller either. 93% battery. 500 meters. We've got 25 satellites as well. So we're gonna pull it a little bit up here so we can get above the island. Meters, still pretty smooth, no interferences, no lag, nothing. The wind is picking up though. But we're now at 1,200 meters. I'm not going to push this that far because just in case something happens, I can't really get one. They don't have anyone in store here, so I'm just going to push it to around. Just gonna push it around 1,300, and I think we can turn around right there. So 1,300 meters was the limit that I wanted to reach today. This was mainly to see if there was any interactions, any interferences, or any issues with the RC controller. I remember the Mavic Air, the first one. It was a pain to get out to this island. I had so many issues with loss of connection and everything. So this is really looking good. So as I was flying closer to the mountains, I didn't really experience any issues at all with the controller. It was just the same as it was when we were doing it at the beach. So approximately 1,500 to 2,000 meters is what I pushed the Mini 3. I didn't feel like going further because we had some drop in the signal because of the interferences which is coming from people using cell phones and houses which is nearby which has Wi-Fi, and I'm not really into those tests, those long range tests. I don't really see the point in flying it as far as it can go for them to get back again. That's one of the ways that I lost my drone, the Mavic Air, in the North Shore. So I don't really see the point in that. I'm more into those cinematic shots, which you may know already. But I really hope that you found some value in this video from the different areas. We all fly our drones in different scenarios. Some of you might use it for your business, where you are flying it close to houses because you are making a real estate video or anything like that. So around 300 to 400 meters on the best. If you elevate yourself and get to a higher ground, of course it's going to be better, but around 300 meters is what you can expect in urban environments where there's a lot of Wi-Fi. And for open areas like we saw at the the Chinamans Hat, we could see that there was no problem getting to 1,300 meters. So if you're going to do some cinematic aerial shots where there's open spaces, I don't think you should worry about anything. And the same goes for open areas like the beaches, and if you're going to film mountains, anything like that, I don't think you should worry about anything. So from my experience, I haven't really noticed any changes of the RC controllers for the different drones. Even in Mavic 2 Pro, nothing. I feel like every single controller is the same, and you won't be able to fly the 15 kilometers or the 25 kilometers with the extended battery plus anyway, because you're gonna go out of battery before that. So you can maybe fly about 4-5 kilometers at tops, maybe, and that would be back and forth. So around 3,000 kilometers, so around 3,000 meters one way, and then you will have to get back anyway because of the battery. So that's from my experience. So around 3,000 tops, but you wouldn't fly that far anyway. You would rather move yourself to a different location to fly, and then you would need to do that for the drone regulations and the rules anyway. You will always have to keep your drone in line of sight, and you will always have to see and know where your drone are. So again, I really hope that you found any value from this video. Let me know down in the comment section below, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button so you never miss out on any future videos. Let me know what you want to see next. I have an active track video which is going to be quite fun, which is coming soon as well. So until then, take care, and I will see you in the next video.